Welcome back everyone to your stimulus check update for today, and in this video we're specifically going to be addressing the potential hypothetical fourth stimulus check. What are the odds of it happening? Why could it be likely? Why could it be unlikely? We'll be discussing it all in today's video. So let's dive right into the news, but before we do, you know the drill, you know the protocol. Make sure that you are subscribed to this channel. Click that big red button as well as the notification bell as well. That will notify you when I do post a brand new video. We'll be doing our next cash giveaway when we do 20,000 subscribers, and to be entered in that giveaway, you will have to be subscribed. So all the more reason to be subscribed. I would greatly appreciate that if you could do that for me. So let's begin with this brand new analysis that just was released regarding a fourth stimulus check and what it could do to bolster the economy and the American people. Well, according to this brand new report that was just released from the Urban Brookings Tax Policy Center, a fourth round of stimulus, a fourth stimulus check, could lift as many as over 7 million Americans out of poverty. And according to this same study, the third stimulus check that was part of the American Rescue Plan will reduce the number of people in poverty by almost 11.5 million. The report specifically found, quote, another round of payments could lift an additional 6.6 to 7.3 million people out of poverty, depending on whether the payment was restricted to citizens or made available to everyone. Now, it's worth noting, according to this report, that the number of people that would be affected by this fourth stimulus check would mostly depend on the timing of when this payment gets approved. Now, well over 100 million Americans have already received the third stimulus check, and it was great news hearing that SSI recipients finally have a timeline of when they could start receiving their check. In fact, this weekend, the payments are going to start processing for people on these federal benefits. So what are the odds of a fourth stimulus payment? Could we actually expect it? When could it come? Well, first of all, if another payment is approved, if at all, this round of stimulus would have to be much more constrained and much more limited to a smaller group of people. According to R.A. Farraknia, a professor at Columbia Business School, he thinks that checks went to people that really did not need the money. He had also said, quote, one check fits all is perhaps not the best approach. He believes that it should be much more limited. Now, what are your thoughts? Do you believe that people making upwards of $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year should get stimulus checks? Or should this only be for people in poverty level, or at least close to it? What are your thoughts on the income thresholds for the third stimulus check and the fourth stimulus check? Let me know down below in the comments. And according to Pete Earle, an economist at the American Institute for Economic Research, he believes that there's really three things to watch for as far as if we can expect more direct payments. This includes yields on treasury bonds, which would help fund the payments. You can also look at interest rates and how they perform, as well as public perception of Biden's policies and the 2022 midterm elections. These will all be great deciding factors and whether or not more direct payments could be approved. Now, some analysts are optimistic about more stimulus coming, but others just don't foresee it happening. They believe that on Capitol Hill, other aid will ultimately take priority. For example, Ed Mills, who's a Washington policy analyst at Raymond James, he says that, quote, I think it's unlikely at this time in regards to a fourth round of stimulus and whether or not it will happen, because President Biden promised on Monday that 90% of adults will be eligible for vaccination by April 19th, paving the way for the U.S. economy to fully reopen. He says, quote, DC has largely started to pivot towards the recovery and an infrastructure bill, which is very true. Biden just released his $2 trillion infrastructure package. And so he is absolutely right in that precedent could take over in regards to other policy and other legislation that the Democrats want to push. But other versions of coronavirus aid will still continue to happen. For example, under the American Rescue Plan, it expanded and extended the child tax credit and also allowed it to be paid in monthly installments. So that will still happen even well after the U.S. has reached herd immunity and the majority of Americans have been vaccinated. These families will still continue to receive these monthly payments from the expanded child tax credit. Now, Mills is uncertain of whether or not that child tax credit could be made permanent. He had said, quote, the fight really is to see if that gets extended beyond this year. However, he does believe that other forms of aid could also still be on the agenda, such as still extending the unemployment insurance. The $300 a week supplement at the federal level is currently set to expire on September 6th under the American Rescue Plan, but Mills believes that it could be extended. Now, perhaps more stimulus does not get approved, but as we have covered several times on this channel already, there have been many iterations of UBI, Universal Basic Income, being tested out in many areas of this country. And analysts share some sentiment that all of this stimulus and all of these direct payments could now actually lead to UBI being fully implemented in this country one way or another, and we've already seen it happen. An analyst had said, quote, "There's a view out there that these ongoing payments, especially to the extent now that there are whispers about ongoing payments in perpetuity, they sort of represent a stealth implementation of UBI or universal basic income. This administration under President Biden could be the next stepping stone into more social programs being implemented in this country, more forms of socialized programs." The concept dates from President Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal policy of the 1930s, which included a right to housing, jobs, and income, though it did not specifically include UBI. Notably, Social Security was one of the programs established under the New Deal. A second major expansion of the social safety net came in the 1960s with the creation of Medicare, and a third wave of change may already be underway. President Barack Obama signing the Affordable Care Act into law was monumental for this country, and now this could continue with the permanent addition of the expanded child tax credit and other federal tools to help people through recessions and times of struggle. In fact, one policy strategist had pointed to Biden's infrastructure plan and how that could also be a push in that direction. They specifically said, quote, "If this social infrastructure piece is implemented, we will see the greatest social programmatic changes in this country in 50 years. More than 75 lawmakers in this country have been on the record pushing for more direct cash payments in this country. But they don't just want one-time payments, they want reoccurring payments. So with that being said, this could potentially be intertwined into some sort of permanent legislation, some sort of permanent agenda that the Democrats could push to implement UBI or other subsidized programs in this country. And we could very well be moving in that direction. So perhaps it won't be known as a fourth stimulus check or a fourth stimulus package, but rather something completely different, a permanent fixture, something part of the Biden administration that could be implemented in this country. The question always comes up, well, how would you pay for such a program? Where are you going to get the funds for this? Well, President Biden is looking at hiking taxes on people making multiple six figures a year and up. He is looking to tax the ultra wealthy, and we could see tax hikes come in this country in the very not too distant future. I'm curious, what are your thoughts on potential tax hikes to come in this country? Do you believe that it is time to raise taxes on the ultra wealthy and people that are making more than enough money in this country? Or do you believe that could lead to it being trickled down into the middle class, and you could see jobs cut and costs cut and companies laying off millions of workers? What do you think? Let me know down below in the comments. More updates are to come. We're still waiting on an exact timeline as far as when veterans will receive their stimulus checks. That is something that is still awaiting an answer. So we'll be sure to update you guys right here on this channel when we do hear more about that. If you did enjoy this video, as always, give it a big thumbs up, smash the like button. I would greatly appreciate that. If you'd like to see more content from my channel, be sure you are subscribed, click that big red button, as well as the notification bell as well. And if you'd like to get some free stocks, all on me, all free, use my links down below in the description. When you sign with Robinhood and or Webull, you'll get some free stocks, all on me, all in the house, just for watching my channel. And some of these stocks be valued up to thousands of dollars in some instances. So do let me know what stocks you do get. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.